Hello, and welcome to Creighton School District Planning for Larry C. Kennedy Elementary School, Educational Specifications Workshop Number 1, Preparation Presentation. My name is Molly Smith. I'm the planning consultant hired by the district. My company's name is Think Smart Planning, Inc., and you can see that my email address is on this slide if you wish to email any questions regarding the process. So first, let's start with talking about what educational specifications are. Educational specifications are essentially the recipe book for design, and they are centered around community vision. Every school, every project has a different flavor depending on the vision of their particular community. And we integrate educational goals and facts about the community and the school itself, the functional needs of the students and teachers and community. We also integrate concepts for design, and we create a roadmap for success that our designers will then use to create a beautiful school which will be tailor-made to our needs. Our steering committee work will encompass community input, research of our peers, best practices, prior work we've done in the district to create a teaching and learning plan, which will then become the educational specifications document or the recipe for design, ultimately creating the environment for learning for our students. Today we're going to prepare ourselves for our workshop together on the 12th with a short presentation about rethinking education and the environments that empower our modern learners. We have essentially two generations in the K-8 age group that we'll be working with. Generation Z, sometimes called the Zoomers, born in the mid-90s through 2010. Zoomers are the first tribe of true digital natives. These are the children that were born into technology and are very comfortable using it in their daily life for a variety of tasks, entertainment, and just part of everyday existence. The next generation, Generation Alpha, the children of millennials, were born after 2010. The Alpha children are the first tribe of 21st century learners. Alpha tribe students integrate teaching and learning technology into all sorts of tasks, everyday existence without any problem. These two generations are the most connected, educated, and sophisticated generations in history. They don't just represent the future, they are creating it through collaboration, teamwork, creativity, critical thinking, many of the C's that we think about for our students' skill sets. Both generations have seen an economic impact in their parents and in their lives. They're used to the instability and may have seen family members work many different jobs and in different ways, work from home, work in the gig economy. And students in this generation have a drive to be nimble. In fact, 60% of teens expect to have multiple careers by the time they're 30. And 75% of teens say there are ways of getting good education besides college, yet 66% still plan to go. 47% of teens say they're an expert at something. No matter who we look at, though, in these generations, we see a we, not a me, generation. As we, who are the adults, the community members, the teachers, the collaborators in this process, as we go through this process, we may need to unlearn or discard some of our old, outdated memories and thoughts about teaching and learning. We may have to overcome our habits, uncovering and shifting entrenched ways of thinking, effectively supporting change and discovering new ways to connect and collaborate. Often when we look at planning of school environments, we see communities that would prefer to take the path of least resistance. In other words, let's just build what we've been building in the past that was good enough for me, so why isn't it good enough for future learners? To look at teaching and learning and where it is going in the future is the path of least resistance. And so we may need to change our thinking in order to accommodate the process. Our mindset shift may require a pedagogical shift. We may need to understand that we need to back up and unlearn our thinking about what is a classroom, what is learning, what environments do our students need for the future to be successful. And so it may take us a little longer, it may be a little slower getting to where we need to go, but yet the deep thinking and learning will benefit our process. So in order to transition, let us let go of what was in the past, but recognizing what was lost. Acknowledge our discomfort that we have some uncertainty about what the future may hold. We are transforming our identity and begin creating opportunities for new efforts. How do we move forward? Realize that there is psychological safety in our group. All ideas are to be thought out and to be accepted as a possibility. That doesn't mean that we can do everything, but we can definitely be safe in expressing our feelings. Let us accept failure. We may have ideas that do not work. We may have ideas that we can't afford or won't work for our community. Let's rethink assumptions that are critical to our future schools and rethink our assumptions about what is critical to our students' learning. Let's be challenging, rigorous, and supportive of each other as we move forward. I'd like to talk about some of the emerging trends in schools, in teaching and learning today. Curriculum is a very different area for our students. Most of us, as we were growing up in curriculum, we were encouraged to learn content and to repeat that content back on tests and in different ways. Today, our curriculum is centered around experiences, where knowledge that is acquired is distributed amongst a community of learners working together. Our students will need future-ready skills to tackle the future. Rather than thinking of content or acquired learning in that respect, we need to think about our students learning to be good leaders, entrepreneurship, be good communicators, have digital literacy, be global citizens, be good problem solvers, be able to work in teams, and have emotional intelligence. This new generation will require an updated approach in order to learn these skills. And what are these 21st century skills? Many people call these the 4 C's: communication, the sharing of thoughts, questions, ideas, and solutions. Collaboration, working together to reach a goal, putting talent, expertise, and smarts to work. Critical thinking, looking at problems in new ways and linking learning across subjects and disciplines. And creativity, trying new approaches to get things done, equaling innovation and invention. In other words, learning quality is the measure. The ingrained ideas about what school is must stop getting in our way and our thinking. Some of the ideas that I'll be presenting here come from other schools around the country that have been thinking about these very same issues. One of the concepts we see in school buildings is to create flexible and multimodal learning, utilizing not just the spaces inside the classrooms, but in between the classrooms, outdoors, and a variety of other areas. You can see here that flexible furnishings allow students to have a variety of learning experiences in this picture. Some of the students are using soft seating, others are working in small groups. Some are using technology in more formalized setting, others are in a classroom. Here in this pre-K environment, you can see that a variety of spaces flow into each other to create areas for students to pursue individual learning experiences. One of the learning experiences these students are having is having a meal together on the left side of the photo. And you can see the seating areas that are the large steps for students, and then the linkages between the upper and lower floors. Hands-on, self-directed activities will be key for students to learn the collaboration skills, the critical thinking skills, resourcefulness that we'll want for them to learn. We will want to see our students be able to move freely from one environment to another. In the photo on the right, you can see that students are working on a variety of messy projects, but are largely self-directed, with tools and resources being easily within their reach. In the photo on the left, we can see that small groups are learning together, both in an indoor setting and an outdoor setting. Our technology should be empowering and yet nimble. Students should be able to use their one-to-one technology to work in groups or to work alone. Our learning areas should be resource-rich and accessible when students are working in small groups or utilizing collaboration spaces. We should have the resources that they would need in order to do so, such as whiteboards and plugs and natural lighting and seating areas of a variety. In the lower learning years, pre-K through 6 or 8, depending on the school, play is seen as a child's work. Play is where a child learns many different skills such as collaboration and coordination and creativity and exploration. The picture on the left is the new Creighton Elementary School, Creighton Elementary Academy, and you can see that the sense of movement and play has been integrated into the environment as a natural part of the environment. The graphics and the Furnishings allow students freedom of movement from one area to another. The photo on the right, the student is interacting with water and learning about that. Obviously getting a little messy, of course, but integrating play into their daily activity. Furnishings can make learning environments adaptable and personalized if they are movable and a student can move from one area to another. If they accommodate individual work, small group work, and larger group work. Outdoor exploration and learning is very important and has been becoming more and more integrated into our school environments. You can see here that students are working in both pictures in gardening and activities in the outdoors. The actual outdoor furnishings are not very expensive. They can be created pretty easily, as long as some important ingredients are available, such as water utilities. Here you can see a different outdoor garden on the left, and you can see a patio type environment on the right, where there's a variety of seating and gathering areas, plantings, and available areas for students to explore individual work on the outdoor environment. This year, during the COVID pandemic, we have done a lot of discussing about outdoor learning and student health, for obvious reasons, for students to be able to spread out and have better ventilation. But this is not a new idea. Students' mental health as well as physical well-being is closely connected to their ability to spend time outdoors. The federal government has emphasized a need for students to have better access to fresh air in both the indoor environments and the outdoor environments, and we should endeavor to incorporate this as we can in our facilities. Another important idea that's being explored in schools is the community connections. Schools are not islands where no one else is involved. We involve parents, we involve health professionals, we involve fine arts staff and volunteers, and we involve other types of community members in our students' learning, both before school, after school, and even during the summer. So we will spend some time thinking about the community connections that will be important to our projects. Again, we'd like for you to think outside the building, integrate the community into the project, have a mindset shift about how kids learn and engage with the community. This last year, if it hasn't taught us anything, it should have taught us that learning happens everywhere. Here are a couple schools that have created deeper community connections. The Grand Rapids Zoo School has integrated a zoo program into their school. The students actually spend time on the zoo property doing work, and a museum school where students cooperate with the museum in a variety of ways, both in their learning and in their community connections. If not us, then who? And if not now, when? Is a very appropriate saying for every project that is going to incorporate student learning. It's not just good enough to replicate the past. We really need to look into what our students' needs are for the future. And this concludes presentation number 1 in preparation for workshop number 1 on February 12th, 2021. I look forward to seeing you there. Please jot down your ideas from this presentation and bring those with you to our workshop. We will be discussing some of these ideas in a couple of workshop exercises together. And so we look forward to working together on Larry C. Kennedy Elementary School. Thank you for watching.